Hello and welcome. I'm Holly Payne, Deputy Editor of Seatrade Cruise and also Editor Video Production. I'm here in Miami for Seatrade Cruise Global, and with me I have some very special guests from MedCruise. So I have Figen Ayan from Galataport, but also importantly, the President of MedCruise. I also have with me today Lorenzo Vera Franco, who is also the Vice President at MedCruise and from the port of Motril, Granada. And lastly, I have with me Francesca Antonelli, who is the Senior Vice President and also from the port of Valencia. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
So I first of all want to start, Figen, if you could please tell me about some of the biggest achievements that you have seen so far during your time overseeing the association.
Well, first of all, let's briefly say that this is the largest port association and that we are expanding from the Atlantic Ocean to the Red Sea, to Northern African ports, Black Sea region, and all the Mediterranean ports. Synergy is really the most important aspect of our association, and we built up totally our mandate based on sustainability, but we wanted to redesign what sustainability meant for our ports and destinations. And we had a much more holistic approach to sustainability because, as we all know, in the cruise industry, one solution for all is not applicable. So we work really hard with our Senior Vice President and Vice President and with all the Board of Directors and the member ports and associate members to create, again, a holistic, sustainable approach. And we penetrate in the EU level via Blue Mission Med, and it's really important. We're thrilled to have been able just to have a voice at the EU level too.
That's fantastic, Figen. What about you, Lorenzo? What would you say has been your biggest achievement over the recent, post-pandemic?
Yeah, I'm in charge of destination development, and it's a unique task, because it's the first mandate that we have this task, and we have to put in the first place the crew. We have two great initiatives, the crew, and we have the initiative of the crew friendly, because during the pandemic the crew suffer a lot, and we discover that we have a wonderful initiatives and facilities that can help that to be more crew-friendly territories. We made a big effort to do all the information, get it together, and to create a map. That this map online can help like a tool for the cruise lines, that they have in a glam, a wonderful view of all the facilities and initiatives of all the ports that are very amazing. And the other very important is we are working in a working group that put in value all the uniqueness of the Med, because we are a uniqueness region. We have desert, the Sahara Desert, the beautiful mountains with Sierra Nevada and the snows, and Côte d'Azur, wonderful cities, heritage, gastronomy, one of the most beautiful and different gastronomy in all the world. From Turkey, Spain, Italy, Greek, Egypt. So with all this together, all these ingredients.
That sounds amazing, Lorenzo. Fantastic. And what about you, Francesca? What would you consider to be your greatest achievement that you have seen at the association over recent years?
Well, I'm very glad that this board of directors, and especially Madam President, has appointed me as professional development responsible at MedCruise, because we firmly believe that training is very important. as Figen already said, our association is very diverse, and so are the people who are delegates in our association. We have board member, people who are working in the promotion departments. Then we have people in associate members where perhaps they are working as an agent or in a tourism board or a service provider to cruise line. So we are very diverse, and that means that our knowledgement is also diverse, and that we have, perhaps we don't have, everybody has the same knowledge of the same topics. So when this mandate began, and as Figen underlined already, sustainability was very, very important for this MedCruise mandate. And as professional development director, I thought and proposed to the board of directors and to Figen that we should dedicate 80% of our training to the sustainability, and so we did. So the first thing was sustainability for dummies. We were hosted by Galata Port in Istanbul, and we did there just a day with an expert and went through all the technical solutions that we have today in the shipping industry and particularly in the cruise industry. That was amazing.
So this was a day-long session?
A day-long session.
At
Just
Galata
back
Port.
school.
Right, okay.
And
And
the
this
second
was
achievement.
a breakdown of all of the different,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
technical...
I mean, going through to what is OPS, the different efficiency measures taken on board, what can we do in the ports, what are doing the cruise line on board, but really like a glossary to know this is that, to have an input. And then the second big thing we did was this year, with the great collaboration of MSC, who hosted us, going on board of the MSC Fantasia, and a 3-day full immersion in the sustainability on board. And we had the opportunity to learn about, well, what are the cruise line doing, and also then how could a sustainable shore excursion be hosted by La Spezia. We started in Genoa. Genoa hosted us, the port of Genoa, and then we finished in Naples. So it was really great, thanks to this great sponsorship of MSC. So I'm very, very happy that we could do that, and our delegates, I think they were happy too.
Absolutely. And I'd like to come back to that commitment that you have around learning and progression. But also, you represent so many ports. All with very different needs. As you said, Figen, now stretching right up to the Red Sea. Cruise Saudi, I think, is also a member. But how is it that they are all kind of managing these challenges when it comes to being more sustainable? How are you supporting them in their endeavours?
What we're trying to do here is just to highlight the fact that technical solutions, supplying OPS or LNG in our port is not the only thing that we have been doing. When you have an association representing by about 60% islands, you have to dive a little bit closer and understand what their needs are. And when they have only 10,000 passengers per year, why the EU should just dictate and force us to have this million euros facilities. So that's why we have tried to make understand to the EU Commission via Mission Ocean linked to the EU Commission, that actually we are sustainable in our way since the 90s. And we just gave the example of actually the cruise lines having actually new generation ships as well, and that we were ready to do different type of sustainable activities. Some of our ports are refusing to take 2 ships per day, although they have the capacity. Mm-hmm. Some are using actually electrification vehicles when it comes to excursion. And during the PDC that Francesca organized, we created and we supported a sustainable excursion, because it's not only the port who has to be, eco-conscious, but it's the whole destination overall. So when we're talking about the whole destination overall, the community is getting involved. And that's why our collaboration with AIVP is crucial. And we are trying just to put the highlight in the fact that the communities are important. As much as the cruise lines have to be in a very eco-conscious environment, we have to respect also all these communities. And this came as an outcome to the Blue Port and Destination Awards, which will be delivered in April in Athens. It's EU Mission Ocean and Blue Mission Med who is organizing, and we are the co-organizer. And they were amazed when all the application arrived in front of their desk to see so many different solutions that we created over the years, and they are going to be granted and celebrated.
So this is an award which is open to who can enter. What sort of awards will be available?
There were 3 categories. European ports from the Baltic, Danube, Mediterranean could just apply to it. All our member ports have applied. There are multiple ports who applied. We spread the words as MedCruise. And the 3 categories, one is dedicated to all the technical solutions that the ports are bringing on the table. The second one is more actually how the ports are just creating a community, a sustainable community. And the third one was delivered for an innovative mind, personality or team who just had a positive impact. So we're super excited because for the first time, Mission Ocean is going to see all the efforts that we have been doing since the 90s.
Fantastic. And I think going back as well, Figen, I mean, a fantastic award, great to recognise those who are doing so much within the industry to push sustainability. And I suppose as well, Francesca and, Lorenzo, you both have very different ports, very different sized ports. And I suppose this is great value, right, to MedCruise to be able to liaise with your members and their different needs from the smallest island ports right up to the biggest ports.
Yes, indeed. I'm representing a medium-sized port, actually. And what I'm really proud, we can really be proud about MedCruise is that we really take in consideration the needs of every single port, and also don't forget about the associate members. It's very important. And how we reflect that, for instance, in our assemblies. This board of directors and led by Figen, we take a lot of attention, put a lot of attention on that our conferences are suitable for everybody, as Seatrade Cruise Global does, of course, and that there is always something that you will bring back home for your experience. Of course, there are some topics that perhaps it's not really about your reality, but this is something that we really have to do because we are an association and we are here not only for the lobbying fact that Figen underlined, but also to help our members to learn, to achieve something, to accomplish their goals, and that's what we try.
Thank you. Now, I want to come to your initiatives, and especially the crew-friendly initiative in a moment, Lorenzo. But before I do, I want to address a point which is really upsetting at the moment, but that we have to talk about. And that is, of course, some of the insecurity that we're seeing that is unfortunately affecting your member ports. Could you give me an update on what's happening and how you're managing these challenges?
Well, we had a lot of challenges during this mandate, but that's the reality of our cruise industry, and that's what makes us even stronger and more resilient. Because actually, immediately we are super proactive in just getting in touch with each other so that we can see what's going on around in the adjacent seas and in the adjacent ports. The Ukrainian war was really right at the beginning of our mandate. We are in very close collaboration and touch, not collaboration, but we are in touch with Odessa Port, and trying just to keep them updated and keep them actually in the loop of our industry, so that they can see a kind of the end of the tunnel, we would say. This is the way. We are, of course, not charging them for our membership fee, and we hope that they will be back in track very soon. All the Middle Eastern turmoil has, of course, affected in number of calls our member ports in the Eastern Med. But as we are going to see in the trends in the Med, still the other ports in the Eastern Med, in Greece, in Cyprus, in Turkey, are safe harbors for the cruise lines, so that they don't retract totally from the region, but they're just holding on so that they can immediately put back Haifa port or all the other ports in the itineraries, because after all, these itineraries are making actually the most of a cruise itinerary, and that's why actually we are just supporting. We are constantly, again, same as we are for our friends in Odessa, in close touch with Haifa, and we hope that all these turmoils will finish very soon.
And Figen, have you also been liaising with Cruise Saudi, on, I understand that the ports are still open, cruise ships can still go through Suez Canal, but how are things looking on that front?
For the Suez Canal, this is actually a crisis within a crisis which have been added, and so many calls have been cancelled. But again, the good thing, the positive part of the situation is that the cruise line haven't totally moved out from the region. They are in neighborhood ports so that they can just monitorize the situation. Cruise Saudi is just a very strong partner and a very strong member as well. They have other plans as well, adding actually new cruise companies as well. So there are different things going on in the meanwhile, we can say. So we are in close touch and just making sure that one way or the other, MedCruise member ports are safe ports for our cruise companies.
Thank you, Figen, and let's hope that these things, end peacefully and very soon. And now, Lorenzo, please tell me, your crew-friendly initiative, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this is something that you've been working on really intensely. What's the latest on this? What can we expect to see from the crew-friendly initiative?
We have the map, finally. So we have a wonderful online map that is going to be in our website. We are going to present in Tarragona GA. And something that I really like to collect from Francesca is like a small port, like I am from a small port. All these initiatives, all we do helps each other to be together like a family and to learn about what is going on. And we work in these crew-friendly initiatives with a study case that help us to understand how Castellón is managed, or Livorno is managed, or Istanbul with the shopping offer. Everyone has some very interesting and nice approach to the crew, and we learn from another initiative. Now, that I think is a great achievement. It's very deep because it's at the end, it's untouchable what you learn, but it's very interesting. Now, and we have the map.
Absolutely. And as we spoke about in the past, Lorenzo, the significance, the importance of crew in being able to spread the word and really be ambassadors for the destinations that they visit.
And the thing which is really interesting is from the survey that we have conducted, it's not only actually the ports supplying free Wi-Fi, which is something basic. Actually, 90% of our ports are supplying Wi-Fi. We just put the highlight, but some are giving also emotional support. And I was really surprised with Lorenzo and all the team just to see that it's so personal that some actually port members are offering excursions for actually the crew members. So it's a way, a possibility of not differentiating the crew from the passengers, who are all our guests for our destinations.
Wonderful. And lastly, I'd like to talk about the Atlantic working group. I know that you've got a few working groups, this being one of the latest.
Yeah, it's the latest. It's a very interesting working group. It's in the area of the near Atlantic. It's like 5 countries that are there, and they have an own dynamic, because they have their season is in our winter Med, so they have another different season. They have their own personality with most of them are islands and home ports like Lisbon. So we are working to have a most interesting approach and how we can promote and work with itinerary planners to be a stronger strength, and also to be more collaborated with all the West Med and yet to the East Med, because we don't like to be alone like boxes. We are not boxes. We are all a big family, all a big region all together. But what is important to underline, and Francesca and Figen said before, we go to the needs of our port and associate members. So, and that area have their own needs. So we are working in that.
Fantastic.
And if I may underline something else, is that, as Lorenzo has been saying, everything is about promotion at the end of the day. And something that we did in this mandate, and that was Figen's message at the very beginning, was also a stronger collaboration with the media and with our public. So I think, Lorenzo and Figen, you are okay with me if I underline that we did a great job, supported by the Secretariat, in let know, the big public, the medias, but also the big public, what we are doing, because that's all about it. So we have a good social media profile, and we have good collaborations with all medias. We have a board of director, Cristina De Gregori, who is responsible for that. And I think that is also a highlight of our mandate.
Definitely.
I think you agree.
Thank you.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And the AIVP working group, there is some collaboration going on. Francesca, is it a working group? How is it? It's a survey. You've got some great results from that. Could you tell me a bit more?
Well, we have different surveys in our organization. I will talk specifically about this working group with the AIVP, conducted by Director Noemi Frascella, and she is doing with the AIVP, our team. We conducted the survey. And what do you think that we can improve in the port-city relationships? And here at Seatrade Cruise Global, they will present the result of this working group, which are a beautiful publication about the collection of best cases, focusing on cruising, of course, of port and city relationship. And everything was born by a survey, again, asking our members, in this case MedCruise and IVP members, what is your focus on the port-city relationship in cruising? And it's a beautiful result of this mandate. And I think, Figen, you have another survey to talk about, which is very important.
Yeah, we have the ability of having a very wide range of response to the question marks that we have in our head regarding ports and destination. Jamil and Valeria, who are in charge of actually
This is
sustainable
Jamil from
the port of Tanger, and Valeria
Sardinian.
from the Sardinian port. So we conducted a very wide range of survey focusing on sustainability, but it's not only about technical aspect, it's also to understand how far the ports are from the city center, etc. So in a way, they will also present their results during Seatrade Cruise Global. So we're very excited, as Francesca pointed out. Seatrade Cruise Global is a fantastic platform for MedCruise, just to share with the whole industry on an international and global level all the results of the hard work that we have given and how different our responses are. And it's really, really interesting. I really highly recommend all of you. Afterwards, everything will be available on our website as well. And one last thing I would like just to point out is that we are attaching a lot of importance to the job opportunities and the talent management, and Seatrade Cruise Global would be a beautiful platform for the second time, just to give the ability to show it. There will be a dedicated section where actually all the people around the globe will be able to see the cruise lines job opportunities, but also the port or the associate members job opportunities as well. So like Lorenzo said, we are a big family and we are just a great platform to show it to the world.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hearing you speak about your latest initiatives, some of your achievements, which are just a handful. I know that you've been working tirelessly on all sorts of things, especially, of course, sustainability. And of course, what we'll do is we'll include in the information some of the links to your surveys, to your research. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic event, and thank you for sharing some of your achievements, and also looking forward to seeing other initiatives that come up. I know that you've all been working very, very hard, especially when it comes to your sustainability initiatives.